Hello, this is Ifani Ernest the First, God's favorite, Emperor, Conqueror of Earth, businessman and entrepreneur. I'm the CEO at NSC Corporation, and as you all know, very soon we'll be launching our first mobile app. I believe it will add so much value to your life. So when that's out, go check it out. In today's video, I'm going to share my story, my humble beginnings, and how I all started this journey of personal development. When I was 18, sitting there, I had zero no, I had zero money. I was skinny as hell. I had nothing going on for me. I knew there had to be more. And in a place like Nigeria, you only make money in three ways. The first is you start a business or you go to school that positions you for employment or internet scams. I didn't like the lifestyle of scams because you have to stay up all night because of the geopolitical time zones. The part of business, I was relatively young and my parents wouldn't support that. But stay under their care, can't go against their will. First, I had to opt for going to college to position myself for employment. Wrote the exam. It was for I personally choose a university, that's college, that was 4 states away from my home. That way I get to be far away from my parents while I figure out my shit. Arrived at this state, I didn't know anybody. My aunt linked me up with someone I could pass the night with, not necessarily the night, but stay with until I get my own apartment. Met the guy, hello, we exchanged pleasantries. 2 days staying with him, I discovered he loved women. We are not like-minded. I thought college was a place where everyone would sit down and try to discover, ascertain why they are here, get their shit, level up their mindset, things like that. And this guy was the complete opposite. He would dress up, walk to school just solely to look for women on a Saturday. That's how he spent his weekend. He would wake up or at night in the evening because that's when females patrol about. He would dress up, spray perfume, brush his hair, go out solely to scout for women. And this idea, I couldn't understand what was wrong with people. I thought everyone thought like me. Why would you waste time looking for women when you have nothing going on for you? You're broke, you're skinny, you have no characteristics of a man of value. Your mattress is on the floor. You stay in a one-bedroom apartment. I mean, what kind of female would want to hang around with you? It was few days later when he noticed my unorthodox beliefs. He started treating me badly. Eventually, he asked for us to split the rent. I said no, I'm looking for my own apartment. Besides, I don't have any money at this point. He said he gave me to the next day to evacuate his apartment. I called my auntie, left the apartment. She introduced me to another pastor, to a pastor rather, not another pastor, to a pastor. I crashed in his apartment. Weeks later, I burnt his kitchen, chased me out. Sitting there in an open environment, mind you, I had no friends at the time. Not excluding the fact that I was already in college, but I couldn't find someone who was like-minded. I didn't. Everyone was all about women, drugs, cocaine, and all of that. No one genuinely wanted to learn philosophy and unorthodox pattern. Everyone was just enjoy your youth as you know it. So I met this guy. We started talking. He looked like someone somewhat an intellectual. We shared the same frequency, or we were in the same frequency at the time. We decided to split the rent and pay for an apartment. And mind you, in Nigeria, the prevalent housing model is an annually rent payment compared to the West. I know you guys pay monthly, but it's very rare for you to say monthly payments in somewhere like Nigeria. So we get into this apartment. Things were quiet for a bit. He asked if his cousin could come chill with us. He promised to split the rent that was already splitted. Therefore, I get a little bit of money reimbursed back to me. Weeks later, his cousin arrived. Crackhead, drug addict. He would smoke all day, play loud music. I found it difficult to read, study the financial market, look at charts and continue about my daily schedule. Then we started having this disagreement. Before then, let's call this roommate Mark. I would call Mark out. I and Mark will go out. We'll talk about beliefs. I will tell him how it's my dream one day to own a Mercedes and Lamborghini, to be so rich that everyone has to comprehend and acknowledge my existence. Of course, he would cheer me on. He would tell me, keep going, bro. I'm supporting you. I'm rooting for you. However, I and his cousin Bob got into a fight. And when that fight was all sorted and everyone was cool again, I I met with Mark. And while me and Mark were talking, he showed me a newly launched WhatsApp AI extension to show you how committed I am to my dream. I have no social platform installed on my phone. He had to show me the latest developments in technology at the height of AI frenzy. I believe this was in 2022 or 2023. He showed me this thing. And while I was scrolling and checking out the new features, he went out to get something. Not often do I do this. I look at his conversation with Bob, and it was 30 minutes of ridicule, trash talking my name, saying things. Oh, he thinks he's better than us. How does someone wake up all day and all he does is to sit down and look at charts? They didn't know I was looking at charts. All he does is to sit down and read in their own words. What kind of person is this? I can't wait for the rent to expire so we can get out of this mess. Where did you see this guy? I mean, who is this guy? And trash talking me. In that split second, I thought, you expect me to be heartbroken? Hell no! I was excited. Talking about this alone makes my skin crawl. I was excited because I know the great people were once ridiculed before they were revered. That validates that I am on the right path. I'm doing something right. That's why there's opposition. Because if I wasn't doing something right and they were cheering me on, it means I'm just like them, which is not what I want. I figured out that this was what they were doing. Anyways, the guy was scheduled, Mark was scheduled to travel the next day. Before he traveled, I confronted him. I said, look, bro, I read your text. I saw everything you said. You trash talk me, it's fine, but I'm going to prove you wrong. Before he went, and he owed me a little bit of money. I said, pay me my money or I'll call the police. What I discovered, because my purpose was not yet fully formed, but what I discovered in that moment is this. If if I continue or if I go through this conventional path, my lot is already defined. I would end up a 9 to 5er. But if I end the opposite direction, of course, reading and looking at financial chart is not taking action. But if I end the opposite direction, I will be something other than a 9 to 5er. I have to make that big bet. And your purpose is not fully formed. You have to keep taking action. Take action. And as you move along, as you find more tools along the way, more tools will be found, more, not just more tools, better tools will be found along the way. Level 2 is supposed to be more difficult than level 1, level 3 more than level 2. And not just that the difficulty increases, but you also get power ups as you scale in the level, as you scale up the ladder. So if you have those power ups in the beginning of level 1, you would not notice it, ultimately leading to abuse, and you would not appreciate it. When the intention of a thing is not defined, abuse is imminent. So back to our story. I didn't know what to do. Everyone around me was concerned with women, drugs, the neighbor smoked, the neighbor after that neighbor smoked, everyone was smoking, and they would call me, they would invite me and say, yo, take a sip. They would conjure all kind of philosophy that supports the activity. I'm like, no, bro, I don't want to smoke. They'll say, it's good for your health, etc., etc. It gives you inspiration and all those bullshit. Anyways, I kept looking at the financial charts, kept reading, kept studying, kept on my grind, kept trying to figure out why I'm here. How do I get enough money? How do I make money? All of a sudden, I never attended a party. I never invited any female to my apartment. I never did all of this, not because I was not good with women, but I was that driven to get my life in order, to do things that puts me ahead of the curve. Most people in my situation will think something is fundamentally wrong with them. Therefore, they have to conform to fit in that social confines. See, there was this guy who was my neighbor, and from his mannerisms, you would see he doesn't enjoy this activity. He's only doing it because he can't stay by himself. He's not comfortable in his own skin. Therefore, he has to join, he has to socialize himself with this heinous activity in order to fit in. He couldn't smoke, or you see him with a cigar. He doesn't look cool. He doesn't like drinking, etc. You see, and all of this, people, like, back to my initial point, people think that something is fundamentally wrong with them when they have no friends, when they are in no relationship. They feel something aside, something, a part of them have been cut. But no, my friend, it's just that your intellect is isolating you from the generacy, and the generacy is what most people are like, and that mindset would isolate you from all of them. So at the end of the day, the only time I went to a party was when the neighbor, not the necessarily the neighbor, the building adjacent our building, were hosting a birthday party, and I was so starving. I wanted to eat cake. I went in there, even while I was in the birthday party. I had my earphones plugged on, listening to Brian Tracy while I waited for my own share. Later, I got the cake and goat meat. I bounced. Everyone's just sniffing cocaine and smoking all kind of drugs, everything they can get their hands on. And there's this one guy who is studying, learning how the financial market works, learning how to play the stock market, while everyone is ridiculing him. He doesn't care. He keeps fighting on. That's the kind of person I am. And you, when you sit down there and conform and let them assault you with your own belief system, with their own belief system, and you shit your own confidence because you're scared. You don't want to be seen as arrogant. You don't want to portray your own self because you want the risk of being alone. That is not you. You can do it by yourself. Stop trying to be with people. Stop trying to match with expectations. You're not like them. You are special. Get your act together and stop pouting out. That's you, my friend. You're not degenerate. If there's anything you've taken from this story, just because you're alone doesn't mean you something's fundamentally wrong with you. You don't have to be always confined to a social group. You don't have to always be with people. Yeah, it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be by yourself. Most people can't even sit them with themselves for 2 minutes in a room. Either they have earphones plugged in or they're driving. The radio is on. The radio is loud on. They go to school, they enter this group, they're constantly talking. What you're doing is you're distracting yourself from confronting those thoughts that still believe inside of you. You believe you can be better, but you know what to do, but you don't know how to do it. Don't know how to do it. Like I said, purpose is not fully formed. Take action. More tools will be found along the way. It's like Miyamoto Musashi would say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. If you take action now, you might not arrive at your destination, but when you look back and the progress you have made will be monumentally maximal compared to if you hadn't taken the journey at all. The only reason you still foster and dwell in degenerate thoughts is because you're 5 years down the line. Another 5 years down the line, you look at this day and wish you started because of the maximum progress you would have made. If there's anything you've taken from here is it's okay to be alone. Just because you don't have friends doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. The fact that you're weird is a validation that you're not like everyone else. And it's very difficult to find people like us, my friend. It's until you scale to the highest echelon of the profession. That's where your kind is. Your kind is not at the lower echelon. Your kinds are not average. It's very rare to find people who think like you. You're different, you're special, my friend. Nothing is wrong with you. It's them that's the problem. The fact that you're facing opposition should is an indicator that you're not normal, because if you were like them, you will be socially accepted, ultimately eradicating any form of resistance to your acceptance in society. And I know, my friend, because rejection is one of the worst things a human being can face. It is a clear message that you are not needed in your society, your workplace, a group, or a social environment. But in that darkness, that is where you should thrive. Champions, look at Kobe Bryant. How many friends does he have? Champions are not formed on the podium. They are formed in the dark rooms, in the long hours. Chances are excellent. You hear people say, oh, find your identity, then you find your purpose. But it's wrong. If you find your purpose, if you go for purpose, you get number one. But if you go for number one, you never get number two. When I say Kobe Bryant, what comes to your mind? Basketball, hard worker, high work ethic. So his purpose has ultimately become his identity. Now I'm giving you guys new perspective to things that have never been shared on the internet. If you go for number two, you will inevitably get number one. When you say Myron or Fresh, you say educators of masculine presence. They know how to educate people. Businessmen, that purpose have formed their identity. When you go for number one, you end up with degenerate things like LGBTQ. You people have the system has hijacked that word like everything else to mean freedom. And what they have also hijacked the word freedom, because they say identity means freedom. So they have hijacked the word freedom to meaning LGBTQ, gay. When you end up when you say, just keep it at that. But go for number two and you get number one. That's it, my friend. Webchon family. Appreciate you all. I'll see you in the next one. One more thing. If you're sitting there and you're saying, I'm not like everyone else, I'm doing the things that I know I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not getting the pertinent result, then you have to take a step back and evaluate your strategy. It could be either you're not putting in as much effort as you think, or something's wrong with your strategy. For me, I wasn't putting in as much effort as I thought I would. I had 18 hours a day to myself and I spent only 5 hours working. I wondered why I was not getting the desired result. So take action now. It's time to isolate yourself from the public. You're not like them at all. Own up to your masculine essence. The fact that you're watching this video means you're striving for an answer. An unanswered question is what you're looking for. Here's the answer, my friend. You're different. You're meant for greatness. It's going to be difficult, yes, but it's worth the price. In this life, you either pay the price of discipline or you suffer in obscurity. The latter might seem easy at first, but it becomes hard at the end. The reverse is the case. It's a pleasure speaking to you guys. I'll see you in the next one.